What's up, guys and girls? So today I'm going to be doing a response slash review on this article I stumbled across. It's called "What the F Happened to Dating in College," and from the article you can kind of tell what it's about. Now I'm going to give my opinion on the thing. I'm probably going to link my video in the description, so this girl may hate me, she might despise me, but I'm going to be honest. Some of the things I do agree with, some of the things I don't at all. Her general point was that she is tired of this college culture. And I've done some reading up on the subject, and it's true. Like, we were very much more conservative and more traditional in college 20, 30, 40 years ago. We actually, all we did was date. And by date, I don't mean like girlfriend, boyfriend. I mean actually go out on dates with different people. And from there, it was usually marriage. It was a lot more traditional and conservative, you could say. And as you can see, it's getting more and more raunchy to who knows what point in 100 years. Do you think it'll get to a level where it's constant orgies or something like that? I doubt it. But the thing I want to say about this is that let's start with what I disagree with. Let's start there. And I think it's really important. First off, she's generalizing. And I say this a lot, like there's always exceptions to the rule. And in this case, I think it's like you are categorizing like 40 or 30 or even like around that range of the population at college. I go to a state college. There's tens of thousands of students here, and for a few years now there have been people in my dormitories or dorms, and 20, 30 of them are similar to how I am. They're science or engineer majors. They play a lot of Minecraft, League of Legends, whatever have you, COD. You guys probably don't know what COD means. Anyhow, they play a lot of these games. They don't get invited to parties or the nightlife and so forth. And this whole article is pretty much based on that, almost under the assumption that this is every college person's life. Unfortunately, it isn't. Partially, it's because we choose not to do it, and partially because we're not invited and we're not just gonna go out to a bar, and partially because a lot of these nerds they don't want to do this sort of stuff. And so here's a quote that really I didn't like. It went something like, "You can't expect too much from a guy in college. Sex comes first, a date comes way later, and only if he really likes you." Unquote. In my opinion, and if you've been watching my videos over the years, you know that I've sort of gone through self-development with my appearance and so forth. I've asked out a decent amount of girls on dates. They all flake, whether it's when I'm asking them in person or after I get their phone number. They all flake, and it's not just me. Quite recently, my roommate had a similar experience with a girl she met at a party, or he met at a party, and he kissed the girl at the party, and then he literally did exactly what this author was saying, and he pretty much invited her out on a date at a restaurant afterwards. She does the typical girl thing, something along the lines of, "Oh, you meant this week? Oh, I thought you meant next week." Next week comes, flake. I don't know the specifics of his situation, but it's usually something along those lines. And I don't know what to say. Honestly, what a girl says is much different from what she really wants. And through science and what I've read up on in terms of dating and evolution and so forth, I'm a bio major. It makes sense. She talks about like douchebags and stuff in this, and why we always are with the douchebags. And I don't want to elaborate on this. If you guys really want the whole explanation, I'm sure there's a video on it somewhere on my channel. You can look up why nice guys actually finish last, and it's all biological. A girl says she wants a nice person and so forth, but they tend to be the doormat category, which their biological system kicks in, and their biological system pretty much says, look girl, I know what you really want. I've been at this for millions of years. I have millions of years of evolutionary survivability, and you want a guy who is assertive and is not a doormat and bends to your every will. Sure, he's nice and stuff, but this turnoff deletes all that. And so, I mean, I wish I had the time to read every comment on here and elucidate it. But there's this one comment on here where another guy, he posted something similar. He was like, he mentioned how he invited a girl out on a date, and after 5 or 6 dates, the girl eventually said, sorry, you're not, this isn't for me. It's the same sort of thing. This guy was probably a little bit of doormat, and here's the thing. The response to that was very striking in my opinion. There's this one guy who responded to it, and he said something along the lines of, dude, if she doesn't put out on the 3rd date, then you're screwed. And there was something else. He might have said something like, actually I'm gonna look it up right now, this might take a couple of seconds. He says this, pardon my language, fag, if you don't fuck by the 3rd date max, get out. She will friend zone you, or worse, string you along with more free meals. Someone responds to that, 3rd date, if you don't get laid within an hour of meeting her, you're wasting your time, you pussy. And this is sort of culture that follows along, and there's going to be a lot of controversy regarding it, but it's unfortunately true in a lot of cases. Like, girls and guys, I mean, it's preposterous, but they both sort of think this in some degree, which is ridiculous in my instance. I mean, sure, there's probably going to be guys who are like, that's not true, but are they really successful with girls? I mean, I'm sure there are some exceptions to the rule. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the article. I wish I had the time to read every comment on here. Maybe if this video gets enough attention, I might do something like that. So she pretty much goes on and does all this stuff. And here's another quote that's very striking. She says, fuck the mind games, F the booty calls, F him. Just not literally. And that's another huge thing. It's like mind games. Okay, I've done a video on this as well. As far as mind games go, it's like, I do have to agree with the girl. I don't want mind games. And yet, I've been pretty much honest and straightforward many a time in the past, and it's like, what the heck is going on? Like, they can't help but play these games, and it's always a girl. And you know, like recently I've come to the conclusion after talking to people who are better than me at it. They pretty much told me, the girl isn't playing the mind game, she's just trying to feel you out. And it's like, well, according to this girl, not really. Some girls actually like to play mind games. And I'll tell you the one person who told me that. Her name was Jenna Marbles. She's has a YouTube channel. She didn't tell me personally, but she just recently made a video on the topic, and in the video there's something along the lines of she said something at the end where it went something along the lines of, I'm not trying to play mind games with you. I'm really just not sure about you yet. I'm still trying to feel you out. But yeah, that's just a minor point on here. The whole point of this video, and I know it's kind of jarbled and jumbled and stuff, but I mean, I think honestly, and this girl knows it deep down too, there are guys out there on campus, her campus, that will do exactly what she wants. Ask her out on a date, dine her, not send just hey or what's up text, and actually ask something like, hey, how about we grab dinner together, as she wants, right? But these are girls these are guys she won't want to hang out with. Like, let's face the facts. It's ridiculous how that works, but it's the truth. And here's the thing, like, I'm pretty sure I've sent like a hey text more than enough times. They don't even respond to that. So either I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not as big an asshole as I need to be, which I don't think is the case. Or I'm just approaching it the whole thing wrong, or my ethnicity is at stake here, and I'm not the typical white guy. But that's just how it works. I don't know, like, maybe if I was white and I went to parties at night and bars at night, instead of other stuff, stay in my dorms and stuff, it would be different. But yeah, my whole point is, I'm not really complaining or woe is me. It's just like, that's an interesting topic, and I just wanted to open up for discussion, and there's definitely a different way to look at it. Honestly, a lot of articles online, whatever the subject, it's controversial and it's generalizing, and there's always going to be exceptions to whatever generalization you put on it. So this is just another one of those. And just to bring the point home, it's like, guarantee you there are people on there who will do that. They will ask you out for dinner or so forth, but the girls won't want any of that. Like, they just won't. They'll be too weirded out about it. It'll feel like too much of a commitment. Even if you make it as casual as possible, they'd just much rather have fun at night at whatever scene it is, bar, party, whatever, and if they hook up, they hook up, and then the next day they're like, oh, this guy's such a douchebag, why didn't he ask me out on a date? One could reason that the douchebags just win out, like, they get what they want, they don't want to take you on a date, that's why they're not asking you out on a date. And the ones that do, like, you're pretty much limiting yourself, and you keep these girls constantly whine about, woe is me, why are these guys all douchebags? It's like, it's not true, and you know deep down, and deeper down, you are consciously choosing these guys over these other guys who will take you out on a date. Why? Because something very logical, which is just most of these guys tend to be doormats. They let you walk all over them, but that's not always the case. And rather than blog and complain about it, it's much better to just ask this guy, you want to go out to dinner sometime, rather than pine about it in 1,000 words or less. So that's the whole thing. And if there's any dissenters out there, I've done it before many times, and I can do it again. So if there's enough popularity, otherwise, like, I have better stuff to do with my time, but if there's enough popularity in the comments, I will go out there and record myself asking a random girl that passes my threshold of attractability out on a date. In fact, I'll do it a few times if you want. I've actually uploaded a video of this before, and it was an audio recording. The thing is, it won't be a video recording because I don't have that long distance creeper camera, video camera thing to do that. Like, I would just have to record it via audio, because she wouldn't give a natural reaction if I had this camera right next to me in my hand while I was asking her out on a date. But it's just to prove the point. And for those of you who feel pity for me, or like, oh my goodness, look at that loser, he doesn't get any dates and so forth, screw you. No, not screw you, but it's not the biggest deal. I'll see you guys later.